I can't believe another week has gone by, and it's breaking down security again, and we're back in full strength. Mr. Betcher's back, and Mr. Berlin's here.
Yo.
Yay! Excellent. All right, so Mr. Betcher, I saw you a couple weeks ago in Meat Life, or Meat Space, or whatever the hip kids call it these days. How was your vacation?
IRL.
IRL, that's what it is. That's right. How was the vacation?
Great. Got a little refreshed.
Yeah.
There, driving all around the West.
Yeah. But
visiting Washington and Oregon.
You did a little different this time, though. You took 13 people with you and you flew. You didn't just drive it like you normally do. Like the year before, you drove up to Colorado, which, dude.
Yes.
So
I can make it from Austin to Denver in a day.
Wow. That's...
Yeah.
How long of a day?
It's a long day, but yeah.
What is it, like 18 hours, or is it like 24 hours of driving straight?
No idea. What? Denver to Austin?
Yeah.
A little bit further.
Oh my God. Nah, I can't do that.
Because we go past Denver and past Austin.
I might have to drive to DEF CON.
What? Why?
It's 30 hours.
I know it's 30 hours, but it's a 3-hour plane ride.
Depending on when I have surgery on my knee, they won't let me fly.
Why not?
Like blood clots and stuff.
Oh.
So
pop an
you
aspirin.
can't fly, but you can drive.
Yeah.
Just pop an
Because they
aspirin.
can get up and walk around and stuff.
Right. Man, that sucks.
Hopefully I have somebody to drive with me. Because I don't want to drive that by myself.
Take your mom's.
Hell no, she's not going to DEF CON.
What?
Yeah, but she will go to Vegas to see shows.
Yeah, there you go.
Not for a week.
Tell her she can go
there's
to
a lot of shows.
Tom Jones or something, and you go
Nobody wants to go to Vegas for a week.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to Vegas for a week.
That's true. All right. So you're actually, speaking of Vegas, they haven't announced it like on Twitter or whatever, at least that we could find, but you're going to be speaking and keynoting. You're the closing keynote for Diana Initiative 3.0.
I am.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That is awesome. I'd like to remind people that Mr. Betcher and I are available, actually, for keynotes. if you know.
I'm just going to start forwarding people to you guys.
Please don't. Please don't. Please.
I am. After this last month, I am done.
Oh, really?
I'm so done.
No, you're a thought leader now. So,
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not.
Mr. Betcher would love to do a keynote.
Unless it's in Europe again, and then I'll talk about anything.
Yeah, I'll read the phone book of the greater Berlin area or whatever. If somebody will invite me over there. So, all right. Well, wanted to do some talking here. We have a topic, and it's one that kind of hit me because I've been reading the stories on this stuff, and I wasn't exactly sure. I read the one from SC Magazine, and it was talking about the insider threat issue that happened at Tesla. And, Tesla is kind of near and dear to my heart. I've got money down actually for a Tesla 3. I'm waiting diligently for my Tesla, Mr. Musk, if you could just see your way to, getting it delivered to me. I'm kind of a big deal on the internet, so, you might want to help a brother out. But, apparently they found a guy who was sabotaging the code base and did it out of spite because he admitted he was passed over for promotion. And he did it because he was trying to get back at people, which was quite interesting. So I thought we might talk about that today. It's an adversary that a lot of companies are like, oh, we don't have to worry about, if you can't trust your people, why do you have a business, that kind of stuff. But it's like your best friend, they're your best friend and they know how to hurt you real bad. And
having a set of checks and balances for things is never a bad idea.
True. Very true.
There's
insider threat too.
Is there?
Marketing hype, because they define it loosely, right? So if an outsider gets somebody to click a link, well, is that an insider threat because one of the employees was helping the adversary unbeknownst to them?
Right. Is that the difference between manslaughter and murder? You know, it's like one was done knowingly and one was done unknowingly, or,
Right.
You know, that kind of makes sense. So anyway, I am looking at the SC Media article. So, let's see. I guess Elon Musk alerted everybody to a factory fire. They said that it was sabotage was afoot, and is this the news article? Is a different one? No, he's making direct code changes to the manufacturing operating system under false usernames and exporting large amounts of sensitive data to unknown third parties.
I'm interested to know if the code changes caused the fire, or if he also just set something on fire.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about that. I think that actually the fire was part of a separate incident, but
it looks like it wasn't changes to the code in the cars, but changes to the code in the plant, like the machines.
Right, the robots that are putting the widgets on together. Because the idea is the idea is they're trying to get 5,000 a week of the Tesla 3s out, and the processes are getting, aligned, and they're trying to get that out. So any kind of issue like this is going to hurt, the reputation of the company immediately, and it's very fragile at this point. Any of the stock prices are going to go up or down depending on, what exactly happened. And, people are not going to be happy because they're not getting their Tesla 3s at a certain amount of time. Not saying me, but I've been waiting a long time. So
good luck.
I appreciate that. So I was looking around and I was trying to find some identifiers, because this is like threat hunting. This is like threat actor stuff, except we don't have a Carbon Black or a Silence or somebody who's going to be looking for this kind of stuff. They're looking for external stuff, whereas we're always on the lookout for both internal and external threats. So we found a fairly interesting list of common insider identifiers, and they broke them down. So they said most researchers identified that insiders mainly show antisocial behavior that may include, but not limited to, Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. Wow. Yeah. Of course, I guess.
So it should be screening our employees for traits.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why they do.
Most of the narcissists I know have made it to management.
Yeah.
That's why I took all those psycho tests.
Well, that's why they do the INTJs and all that stuff. They want to know if you have a personality that's going to work in that environment. And, if they're one of the questions is, I enjoy selling information of my current company, then, they're going to find you not hireable.
You should start asking that upon hire.
Have you or would you like to sell the company's information? So
it's really difficult, in the hiring. You got to get it right in the hiring. So how in the world would you figure out that Bob is not going to make a good fit because he, in a few months is going to end up stealing some pens and then, all of a sudden moving up to selling your code base to other countries, right?
Yeah. I think it's the same thing like fishing. It's, all they need is a carrot. And all they need is a whack of that stick, or, some kind of bad downturn. It may not even be something that, they have anything against. It may be, oh no, all of a sudden my spouse is taken ill and we've got $300,000 of medical bills that we can't pay, and this guy came by from company X and is going to give me $250,000 to pay something off. That's a mighty big carrot that somebody who's desperate to, pay off something that would put them in debt would do. I mean, and, hopefully your employees are going to be telling you, hey, our insurance sucks and I owe $300,000 because my wife or, family member has cancer or something. And so, those are things that you hope that they'll let you know about, or, hey, I won the lottery, so now I have no reason to work here anymore, but I'm going to still work here because I, am I'm crazy
I'd
or
be
something.
bored, right?
Yeah, bored. Yeah. So
kind of reminds me of a study that was done, and I read about this a few months ago, where they took employees and divided them into two groups. Each had a manager, and they had a contest. So one of the teams would win. Separated them into teams, and one of the teams performed ethically, and the other one cheated.
okay.
Their management cheated intentionally, but they didn't tell the employees that they were, this was a test, obviously.
Right.
And then, of course, the team that cheated won the contest, and then they asked everybody on both teams whether or not they wanted to switch teams. And so some of the people on the winning team that cheated wanted to switch. They didn't think that was a good way to win or whatever.
Right.
And of course, keep in mind that they didn't know that this was a test. And then there were some employees on the cheating team that wanted to stay on the cheating team. Now they found out that the ones that opted to stay were something like, 20 times more likely to steal from the company, to, take intellectual property, or to cheat the company in some way and act unethically, not just to benefit the company, as in the case of winning the contest, but also to go against the company.
Right. Well,
to benefit themselves.
You've shown a pattern of behavior, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean...
if you think it's okay to cheat for the benefit of the team, you're also likely to think to cheat at the detriment of the company to the benefit of yourself.
Right.
So I think it
makes
more
sense.
points towards them, whether they're a part of a team, they win, or whether it's against a team, but for themselves, they win.
Right. Right. So we did have...
I'm just wondering, how do you account for that sort of, like in an interview? I don't know. That's something that I'd like to know. Right? Do you can you highlight those traits in interview questions based on their answers?
Yeah, it
might be something to look up, to Google.
Yeah, I mean, you might be able to ask a scenario question like, I don't know, give me a time where you, acted unethically, but
Nobody's gonna say that.
maybe you could like give me an example of a time where you had to color outside the lines to get something done.
Okay.
Or
and depending on how you phrase it, that's a good way to phrase it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have you ever had to bend the rules to, get your job done?
Right.
So yeah, I had to skirt this safety requirement to get my stuff done. Well,
right.
I had to push Jim down the stairs because he was just like getting in my way.
Well, it was a hip replacement, dude.
Project had deadlines. Come on.
The poor bastard
I can tell you, one of the first talking about like unethical behavior. This isn't really a tech story or anything, but one of the first jobs that I had was working at Tractor Supply Company, and the branch manager at the time, like we would have inventory or whatever, like all stores do, like once a year,
right?
And automatically, like a couple days before the inventory like control people were supposed to come around, we would end up with like a visibly used lawnmower and chainsaw and log splitter and very, very visibly used, just like next to the brand new ones.
God.
Surprise, our inventory is on point.
Yeah, we're 100% again. Yeah. That's awful.
Wow.
That's also a store that had zero security controls, technically or physically.
Well, in retail, they have the loss prevention stuff, and it's a big deal because,
oh yeah, it's become more of a big deal now.
Right. And I saw a story about Walmart doing that. They're like, oh yeah, Walmart's, still like checking, receipts of people who are leaving the store and, for loss prevention purposes. And, they want to make sure that people are buying what they're supposed to be buying, and instead of it just being an employee thing, they're worried about it being all over the, for people outside the organization as well. My mama works at Bass Pro there in Springfield. I'm gonna see her in a couple of weeks when I go on my B-Sides talk, and she can't take cell phones in. They can't. No, they can't take cell phones in. Well, what is it? They've had people fired because they were stealing lures in their lunches, like fishing lures. Yeah, like $10 fishing lures.
Wow.
And found them sandwiched between peanut butter sandwiches, and hiding them, just trying to get. And I'm like, people are getting fired for $10 lures. So I mean,
they found that. I heard that they found him because he bit into his sandwich, and they had to take him to the emergency room to get stitches.
Well, I don't think.
Caught a big one.
Yeah, that. Yeah. So
we got a 200-pounder here.
Yeah. And yeah, they check your pail, you go through metal detectors, all that kind of stuff going out during the day, not coming in so much.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's like ultimate man trap. So, I'm surprised, but again, I guess I'm not surprised, but people get fired for $10 worth of merchandise, which you have to wonder, are they doing it because it's a game? Are they doing it? And I guess that goes back to the Machiavellianism, narcissism, or psychopathy. Are they doing it because it's fun? Are they doing it because, they're just trying to screw the pooch, screw the company out of some stuff, or they think that they're better than the company? I don't know. So
I can tell you everybody that worked at that Tractor Supply stole stuff.
Borrowed. Because obviously they brought it back.
Oh, no. Oh,
Are you
really?
including yourself?
Oh, yeah. It is literally the only job I've ever stolen anything from.
Borrowed.
And I okay, borrowed, but I still have some of it.
I was at Tractor Supply today, believe it or not.
Really? Okay.
I didn't take any of them, except
it was
that I paid for.
I didn't take things that cost thousands of dollars, but it was like a pop here or like whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at something right now. I borrowed about 18 years ago when I lived on Diego Garcia, and I figure I could take it back one day.
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now. It's a pool rack for an outdoor pool table, and it's it was more of I hate to blame it like on the culture, but I mean, if I wouldn't have seen like the manager stealing thousands of dollars worth of stuff, I probably wouldn't have. That manager doesn't still work there, does he?
No.
Okay, good.
All right. Actually, most of the people got fired because they were taking stuff off the shelves and exploding pipe bombs in the back.
Wow, y'all get bored, don't you?
Yeah, that's what happens when you live in the middle of nowhere.
Goodness. All right. So back to.
So we should actually talk about technical.
Let's
stuff,
get back on the technical insider thread.
Sorry about the.
No, that's okay. I love hearing the stories about stuff that people borrow. But yeah, so on the information system side, we found this actually article on Wikipedia, which was very interesting. But apparently Cisco, the networking company, has published a list of common behavioral indicators for known insiders. And, we'll go through a good majority of them, but we have a link in the show notes to various ones here. So, attempting to bypass security controls. So, they attempt to, elevate privileges where they don't necessarily have them, or requests for clearance or higher level access without need. Now, the funny thing is, I've actually done that, but it was only because I wanted to make myself more valuable to the company, and I knew I could get a clearance. So I'd be like, "Oh, we doing any classified stuff? Because I can get a clearance." And it's like, I realize that now. I'm like, well, okay, probably.
That count like VPs and stuff that want like direct database access or whatever.
Right.
Yes. If you don't have a business need, why do you want it? Well, because I want to look some stuff up.
Yeah, and I'm a VP, so
it's not a business need.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even give you a why. They're like, because I signed your check.
Yeah. The first one you mentioned, though, attempt to bypass security controls, that could be seemingly benign, like, well, I just wanted to, install this thing and, or,
Yep.
yeah, I just wanted a, a bigger monitor or a faster hard drive. So I went ahead and, put in for that and convinced, IT that it was okay. Just little things like that.
Yep.
Those are red flags.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
The more I look at some of these, the more of them they can be grouped in together, like, attempting to bypass security controls, attempts to access restricted areas. Let me see, chronic violation of organizational policies. A lot of this stuff is, trying to get where you're not supposed to be, or trying to, gain what you're not supposed to have.
And a lot of these are like just like poor performance and behaviors. So like,
right.
Irresponsible social media behaviors.
Yep.
Complaints
That's right.
of hostile, abnormal, or unethical behaviors. Mm-hmm. Use of like excessive use of negative language.
Yep.
If you have a policy against USB drives, right? You can't plug in USB drives or personal USB drives even, and people bring their USB drives and plug them in, and you have some employees that do that 2, 3, 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Even after you tell them, look, there's a policy against this. What are you doing?
Right.
And they think they're not going to get caught. But that is probably an indicator of other things that they may be doing.
Right.
Right. So you really have to keep tabs on those particular employees. May not happen, but what I would do is probably put in a rule to monitor them a little bit more closely than you would a normal employee.
Right.
I just wonder if I've never actually seen a company have specific plans or thoughts around additional monitoring or anything for insider threats, other than the few cases that I've seen where they're like, oh, well, we got a complaint from this person, or we're like,
right.
really suspicious of this person, so now go ahead and look into everything that they've been doing. But it's not been like a full plan.
Well, the problem is you have to build those behavioral heuristics into your logging system ahead of time. You can't just go, all of a sudden we want to find out how many, you're going to have to run those queries against whatever it is your SIM has, and if you have a system that's old and doesn't do proper logging, you may not get the necessary information you need to be able to detect if Bob has, uploaded a bunch of code to your GitHub, or, has looked at 18,000 customer records and was copying them to his thumb drive or what have you. You see a lot of that with in the healthcare industry with, record systems. They're supposed to do, what is it? It's not attestation, but it's like one of the requirements for EMR is supposed to be able to do audits on everything that somebody has looked at. So every time you look at a record, it logs that somewhere. Every time you open it, it logs that somewhere. Every time you add something to it, it adds that, the logs that somewhere. Everything has to be logged to audit. So if I went in on Tuesday at 4:30 and I said, show me everybody who's looked at everything at 2 p.m., I can get a complete report of that. And if you don't do that, you can have all kinds of issues. But, to this day, we still see, news stories about, somebody accessed 18,000 records, or, somebody in some podunk town is accessing their ex's records, medical records, or, you're still seeing that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
I like this one. This is my favorite. Complaints of hostile, abnormal, unethical, or illegal behaviors. Now, you don't know that employee committed hostile, blah, blah, blah behaviors, but they complained about it.
Right.
Right. And one thing I've noticed is that typically people who complain about a certain activity are guilty of that activity themselves.
Deflection. They're trying to deflect away from themselves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so somebody who all of a sudden complains about others, you might want to watch them closely. Another one is living beyond one's means. Like say they put in for a Tesla, something like that.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah. So, one here that one bullet that I'm looking at here, and it says excessive use of printers or scanners. I would argue that somebody printing anything in this day and age, that would be a flag. You shouldn't be printing anything. I came in, from the military wise, every time you copy anything, that's twice the stuff that you've got to classify. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, if you print a secret document, that's 2 secret documents you have now. You don't have one,
Okay.
you have 2. So, I would restrict the use of printers or scanners, especially, to only those necessary personnel that need them. I would almost argue that nowadays it'd be like, yeah, the VP wants a printer. Get him his own damn printer. Don't have a networked printer because, as we know, tons of stuff out there runs, you can get a shell on a printer, get him a printer, hook it up to the USB port. Don't allow it to be wirelessly networked or Ethernet networked. There's no reason it'd be shared by anybody. Lock that down in the GPO in your Windows to make sure that somebody can't share it out as a printer on the network. Same thing with scanners. There's no reason to scan that stuff. Isn't.
Like you brought up hospitals before. Hospitals definitely still print a lot.
Well, they shouldn't be.
And they still scan a lot.
Yeah, I know in some industries that's a necessary evil.
I
get that.
And like legal's another one.
Yeah, I don't get that, man.
Government.
I don't get that.
But we're talking excessive use of printers, so that probably means they're using it for personal use.
Right.
Our personal items they're printing out, and that again, with the study that I mentioned earlier, is an indicator,
right,
of them doing or that activity leading to more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the printer stuff,
petty crime. The petty crime, leads to, and getting away with it leads to bigger and bigger crime.
Right. So the whole idea with the printer stuff and staying after hours. One of the points in there was anomalies in work hours. So all of a sudden, somebody's starting to work late and, printing a bunch of stuff or scanning a bunch of stuff, which, if your printers are set up correctly, it should be exactly the same. Hey, Bob printed this at X time. Why is Bob printing something at 8:30 in the evening? The scanner was used to scan 8,000 pages. Why is there a need to scan 8,000 pages? So those are the kind of anomalies that you should see, and you should be able to run reports against that and to see, okay, on these days we saw spikes in our usage, which can be, definite indicator of naughty business. Excuse me.
Unauthorized external storage devices. If you see anybody FTPing, connecting on port 22, 21 to the internet, it's a big red flag. You should get an alert.
First, they shouldn't be allowed
to do what?
To connect over FTP to the internet.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw FileZilla. People were complaining about FileZilla having stuff bundled in it, and people were like, well, why are you even using FTP these days? And I'm like, oh yeah, some older systems still require FTP use. And I'm like, God, it's just...
FileZilla does SFTP and FTPS and stuff too.
Yeah, but if the service you're connecting to only does FTP, then you're still screwed. But yeah, try to limit the use of FTP. Actually, I would... There's a method to that, though, that if you use FTP, it's easier to intercept and look at versus SSH. So if you're worried about that, remember that you can sniff the FTP traffic and see what somebody's uploading using like Wireshark to reconstruct the stuff that was moved.
Irresponsible social media behaviors. What is that?
Posting on...
my Twitter daily.
It could be excessive Twitter or Facebook. It could be, finding out that they're posting on sites that are, white nationalists or, something like that, racially motivated websites, things that are against, the corporate policies for equal opportunity or what have you. So, decline in
work performance. That
like
kind of
that
means, somebody's about to burn it down, right?
Right. Well, could be a ton of different things, but some of this stuff, not only is it just, insider threat stuff, a lot of this is also espionage type stuff, with the, the use of the printers or the scanners or unapproved software installations, which, I have thoughts about that one, but that's just me. Visible disgruntlement towards employees or employers or coworkers. The living beyond your means, that's usually a good indicator that, they've been, given additional monies and they're getting it from somewhere. So, I mean, it's important to look for insider threats because, like I said, they know where your crown jewels are more easily than even the bad guys are in many cases. So, and they know how to hurt you in other ways than just, stealing all your data and burning it down. So,
and there's also the, what do you call it? Time bombs. Like after they leave, maybe a network administrator, system administrator, might leave something that'll go off in 6 months or a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
perhaps all the files, things like that.
All right. Well, let's talk about that. How would you find those things conceivably? Would you want to look at their footprint for the last 2 weeks of systems they've accessed or accounts they've used? Or, I mean, assuming you're logging everything properly, that shouldn't be too difficult. But again, I'm assuming you're logging everything correctly.
Yeah, it would be tough to find if they knew what they were doing.
Right.
Certainly. Now, DevOps would get rid of that, right? In some cases.
I can't believe you used that word here. What? DevOps. I don't know.
At least a system of checks and balances built in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was talking to my carpool friend about separation of duties, and he seems to think I got the definition wrong. My whole thing was that job rotation and separation of duties was only for people, but he suggested that it could be machine and people together.
I think it could be both.
Really? How so?
Mm-hmm. Like when I tell people separation of roles, I also think like you shouldn't be logging in and doing all of your work with an admin account.
Okay.
Like if you're domain admin, you don't want to log onto your box and do your daily work as that.
Right.
So that's technically a separation of role because then you have two role accounts. You have your DA account that you only use when you're supposed to, and then your normal account.
Right.
And then you can have like jump boxes, which are kind of a separation, like a role separation type thing, because then you have the one thing that you're accessing everything from.
Would you want to use something like escrow accounts or I don't know what's that thing called? Does it CyberArk, where you can check out credentials and use them, and then
I love that.
Is that what it is? They don't sponsor the show. I don't know if they ever will.
I don't even know. I wasn't even sure if that's what CyberArk was, but I've seen somebody use one of those things where you like actually have to check out like DA accounts and for like a SQL admin account, all that kind of stuff. You actually have to check it out and
somebody gets an email
and somebody signs off on it.
Right. Yeah. You get an email. Somebody gets an email saying, "Okay, Bob checked out the DA account for the next 45 minutes,
or
whatever." So I mean, that's a nice way of limiting that insider threat.
It goes into change tracking and control and all that kind of stuff, which is super helpful.
Right. Okay.
Depends on how valuable your intellectual property is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good control.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I don't have anything else. I don't think. Does anybody else have any last minute thoughts on insider threats?
I just think even if you don't have a full plan on what all of these, right? If you don't have a full plan on, if people are violating policies or, posting shit to Twitter or whatever.
Right.
I've seen too many places just rely on one person to do too much stuff, and then not only worry that they're going to be an insider threat if they're going to leave or get fired or whatever, but they also have all the other fallout from that one person knowing everything. So not only will you not be able to find out if they're an insider threat or have done anything in the end, you wouldn't be able to fix it either.
Right.
Yeah, putting too much on one person's shoulders, especially in like the smaller businesses. It's just like one or two people.
Is that a trust thing? Do we worry about, with the, like you said, with the one or two people thing, you kind of are supposed to trust people. So if you trust them too much, and I mean, obviously I've had people say, if we can't trust our people, then why do we even have a company? Because, that's their way of explaining away the insider threat controls in place.
You do trust them, but if they start exhibiting these behaviors, and they're in the show notes, by the way, so check them out.
Right.
That's when you need to sort of keep an eye on them. Keep it extra.
You should always have audits. It shouldn't just be when they're being weird.
True.
You should always have audits.
That's true. So yeah, doing audits, using, credential type checkout systems, or don't try to roll your own on that. I think it'd probably be a nightmare, but they do have systems out there like that. Two-factor auth, I guess, if somebody was able to gain access to your account, having second factor would reduce the chances of them using unauthorized accounts.
Third-party pen tests.
Additional pen tests, right? Pen testing.
Yeah, and they do list some examples of insiders like Bradley Manning, Edward Snowden.
Right.
Yeah.
Robert Hansen. That's
examples.
That's a bit older.
If you want to learn more about what to do with that, what Amanda mentioned, the one person who knows everything, right? What do you do if they decide to move on? You can read the Phoenix Project. Gives a great example of what to do.
Right. Cool. All right. So that was it. I guess we're gonna finish up this week with a little discussion of where we're gonna be at in the upcoming weeks. We also got some swag. So thanks to Ms. Berlin, we've got our new logo on some stickers, and so we're gonna be.
And can I tell them what else we have it on? Or should we save it for a surprise for DerbyCon?
Maybe.
Like the 10 pounds of stuff that I spent a lot of money on.
Shirts?
Yeah. No. We'll tell you later.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. So if you're coming to DerbyCon, we got some stuff and things. And we're going to have to try to figure out some way of getting people who don't go to cons our stuff too. So if anybody has any thoughts or ideas or suggestions on how to do that, please let us know. So
I mean, I can just start putting them in envelopes. It's only a cheap stamp.
You got children, so yeah, you could probably, lick stamps and have them lick some stamps for you. Here, son, just stand here with you.
Sticky stamp. Do you lick stamps anymore?
I don't know. I haven't mailed anything in forever, so.
The last stamps I got were stickers.
I think I still have my forever
stamps. But you have to lick the envelope.
2010, so. Huh. Well, just have your kids stand there with their tongues open, and if they need them, then you just gotta, just drop the. I don't know. I don't mail things, seriously. I don't even.
It's been forever since I've mailed something. I really can't remember when.
I've had my forever stamps forever, so yeah. I think when they were first issued. So, we've got some stickers. If you are interested in those, go ahead and check that out over on our Twitter at BrakeSec. You can find that out.
Scratch and sniff.
God, I hope not.
Yes.
Okay.
It smelled like the other picture I posted to Slack.
Okay. You're not talking about my cat, are you?
I was, but no.
My cat's chocolate starfish ended up on Slack earlier.
That's
Oh
Okay.
my goodness. Okay, all right, we're done for the day.
And that's a wrap.
And Miss Berlin, where are you going to be in the next couple of weeks?
Nowhere. I am staying with my children and not going anywhere until DEF CON.
How was B-Sides Cleveland?
Amazing.
Oh yeah?
It was
cool.
really nice.
Awesome.
They do a really, really good job. It's in a great place. It's just a short one-day conference, and then afterwards, all of us went to a drag show.
Oh, very nice. I would come, but it's only a day, so it'd take me a day just to get there. So
I know. It's a nice conference for local people, though.
Yeah,
I met a lot of nice people.
Cool. Mr. Betcher, did you get to go to LastCon this week?
No.
Oh, well, all right then.
The vacation thing.
Right. Okay. You're still mellow from the vacation. I get it. Okay. Maybe you and, speaking of which, where you and Mr. Goff, breaking down incident response. How, who's going to be talking this month?
No idea.
You just go on vacation, just throw it all up in the air, don't you?
That's what vacations are for, right? Just forget
they are.
I guess.
Yeah, they are.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Well, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be in B-Sides Springfield. Sadly, Springfield, Missouri, and near my hometown. My mom is going to be there to listen to me speak at my. They call it the first talk of the day. People are saying it's a keynote, but I don't know. So, yeah, we're.
Are you nervous?
A little bit, maybe. Lot, actually.
You'll do amazing.
Will I?
Don't you?
Will I?
We believe in you.
It's 50 minutes and I have 300 slides. Is that too many?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, well, maybe I should reduce scope or something.
To like 250 or something.
250?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
250. Right on. Cool.
Talk really fast.
All right. So yeah, that's the weekend of. Oh wait, that's the 13th and 14th. So I will be in Springfield during that time. I'll have stickers. So if you're B-Side Springfield, you can get some of our stickers for free. Yeah, that's it. And I won't be speaking anymore of that after that. So there you go. Anyway, so Ms. Berlin, if people wanted to ask you about B-Sides Cleveland or the Diana Initiative that you're going to be speaking at in Vegas or DEF CON when you're going to be Hacker Summer Camp, how do they get a hold of you? On
Twitter or our wonderful Slack channel that we keep on adding a lot of people to at InfoSystir, INFOSYSTIR.
Sweet. Mr. Betcher, how would people get a hold of you if they wanted to discuss your vacation or breaking down incident response or LogMD or anything?
DM on Twitter. Hit me up.
Okay.
At BetcherPound.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So I've already given you the show's Twitter at BrakeSec. You can follow me at Brian Brake, BryanBrake. If you're one of the 3 people that tweeted today after seeing Miss Berlin post a sticker, welcome to the podcast. It is, in fact, BRAKEING, security.
It is spelled correctly. It's a pun.
Yes, it's play on words.
It's a pun.
It is. As I was telling Miss Berlin before the show, if we didn't call it Breaking Down Security Podcast, it would have been called Adrift in the Security Sea, which was crap. So
I'm glad you did not pick that.
Yeah, me too. You can get on our Slack if you want to DM us on our Twitter at BrakeSec. We'll get you into our Slack. We're pushing 1,300 users and 400 active users. So that's or 500 active users, which was crazy. We're at or you can email us at bds.podcast@gmail.com and we'll get you hooked up with that. So we have a Patreon, so we appreciate our patrons. Your money is actually helping us get our stickers. So if you're a patron and you want one, let us know. We'll send you some. And we have maybe something else that we can send you too as well. Some of the 10 pounds of, maybe.
All right.
Maybe. And yeah, we thank you for your patronage. So that's awesome. let me see. We're on Google Play, the Apple Podcast. If you are listening to Apple Podcast, please, leave us some nice feedback on there so other people can find us. We're on, what's that one that people do? Spotify. We're on Spotify. So, listen to us on Spotify. And, American Kingpin, which is the book that fine Mr. David Sybuck on our Slack, one of our moderators, is doing with us. I think that's tomorrow night. No. Well, maybe tomorrow night if I post this on Tuesday. It'll be a Wednesday. We're going to try to do one session of American Kingpin a month. And in addition to the Practical Packet Analysis 3rd edition, which we're also doing. So, you get those books, you read a chapter or 5 and come and you can discuss it with, other like-minded individuals. So we've got about, 5 to 6, 10 people or so in our book club that, like to learn things using the book club. So, get on. We also rebooted our CTF club. We're going to be doing some Hack the Box machines. So if you're interested in doing that, get on our Slack, join our CTF channel, and we've got some noobs like myself, and we've got some seasoned veterans who are in there, and, we'll help you work through some of the problems, and you can also give back by helping us work through the problems. So, lot going on the Slack. So, had to get us another moderator, Miss Megan Roddy. I said that right?
You got it.
Yes. All right. Miss Megan Roddy, she's one of our newest moderators. Mr. Scott Pack, David Sybuck.
I saw Scott this weekend.
Really? Well, how was it?
We hung out a bit. Good.
Very sweet. He's a cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, we're done for this week. Everyone, have a great week. This has been Breaking Down Security. We'll see you next week. Be nice to one another, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.